Hey everyone, this is Jeran Simpson. I just wanted to present my project about three-point shooting by 2021-2022 NBA All-Stars. Since their introduction of the three-point line to the NBA in 1979, the line has played a pivotal role in transcending the game of basketball into new heights. Stars like Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, and Stephen Curry have helped revolutionize the game of basketball, perfecting the skill of shooting the three-point shot. It is often said that the three-point shot is one of the greatest equalizers when it comes to leveling the playing field with your opponent. That said, front office executives, scouts, and coaches have made a priority to value the three-point shot and the players who are able to make the three-point shot at a high percentage rate. As the use of data analytics in professional sports organizations has grown, the NBA has followed suit and adopted the use of analytics and leveraging the data in-house to their advantage. Over time, the data has led to organizations valuing the three-point shot more and more than the earlier years of the NBA. Throughout this presentation, I'll be focusing on three-point shooting and how that affects other stats for NBA All-Stars. While it would be nice to study the vast numbers the entire league has to offer, using just the 2021-2022 All-Stars gives us a good glimpse of what the best of the best are doing. So really for my big idea, I kind of just want to express the fact that there is a correlation between other major statistical categories like points per game, effective field goal percentage, minutes per game, and when it comes to looking at and analyzing three-point shooting. There's a direct correlation between these statistical categories and three-point shooting, so that's kind of what I want to express throughout these four visuals, so I hope you guys are able to kind of see where I'm coming from and kind of understand what front offices and kind of what NBA organizations are looking at and what numbers they are going to use to leverage how they kind of, move about in the offseason as far as acquiring players, acquiring what players they may need to fit their certain rosters. And they're going to all look at these things to, help leverage their position to make those decisions in a better process. Yeah, so for my first visual, I made a simple tree map representing three-point percentage by position. I kind of want to, elaborate on the NBA moving towards this positional style of basketball. Like I mentioned in the 3-minute story, the NBA and front office organizations and executives are kind of, thinking about different ways to make their team more efficient as far as offensively. And with that being said, having all 5 players being able to, acquire the maximum amount of points possible per possession, which is a three-point shot. These organizations and front office executives are looking to field their rosters with, different players who can play multiple positions and also shoot the three-point shot at a high percentage rate. So here on this tree map, you can see the 5 positions, and you can see that shooting guards obviously have a very high percentage as far as 38%, which is above the league average of the 35%, which was recorded in the 2021-22 season. And outside of that, you can see small forwards at 34%, power forwards at 34% as well, point guards at 36%, and then centers at 24%. Which is makes sense as centers are a bigger player, usually ranging from 7 feet and above, so they're more likely to be around the basket, not getting many opportunities to shoot the three-point shot. However, if you are a center and are able to step outside the paint and knock down three-point shots on the regular, you are going to be highly sought after and received a great contract for your skills. So like I said, so this really shows truly the breakdown of how, in today's NBA, three-point shot is definitely valued, but more than that, you can see that all 5 positions are able to shoot the three-point shot. Your team can be very successful, and it also just shows that the NBA is continuing to move towards, like I said, that positionless style of basketball. And you can see that represented here by the percentages for all 5 positions broken down. So for my next visual number 2, I just made a simple bar chart displaying the top 3-point percentages by those NBA All-Stars in that 2021-22 season. So here you can see that on the horizontal axis, I have the list of players, and on the vertical axis, I have the percentages. So you can see it is arranged in lowest percentage to highest percentage. It's kind of ironic because in the last slide I was talking about positions, and you can see on the furthest right, Karl Anthony Towns, he is a center, and he's shooting well above 35% from the three-point line. So that's an anomaly, but he also is making a lot of money because he is a very rare product and player in the NBA. So that is why I mentioned that last slide as far as being able to shoot three-pointers and having that size will definitely yield you the big bucks in the NBA, but also from a front office perspective, you're able to acquire somebody who can not only defend the paint, but on the offensive end, be able to, like I said, step outside of the paint and acquire the highest valued point, which is a three-point shot. So it's very ironic to see that, but more so, you're able to see dispersion of three-point percentages among these NBA All-Stars. So you have a ton of guys in that range of 35% and above, which I'll talk about later as far as being the NBA average and then being well above it, which is a very good sign. But like I said, you can just see the progression of each player and where they lie as far as three-point percentage. So through my third visual, I created a scatter plot, and here, as I mentioned before, I talked about that NBA average of 35%, and so here I'm representing three-point percentage and points per game and how those are correlated. So as you can see, those with well above average three-point percentage of 35% or above, you can see that they're averaging well above 24 points per game, and that makes sense because they're doing the most as far as acquiring the most points per possession via the three-point shot when they're on the offensive end. As you can see here, you have guys who are well below the average three-point percentage. However, those are outliers, and they've made the NBA All-Star game due to some other factors, whether it be defense, playmaking ability, rebounding, whatever the case may be. You can see that they're still in the NBA All-Star game, but they're not as good of shooters, as some of the other players who are you see on the other side of the trend lines. So if you were to hover over, this in the interactive, workbook, you would be able to see the percentages of players with the circles. Each player is represented by one of those circles or symbols. So if you ever hover over them, you can see that, let's say, Zach LaVine would be over 35% shooting from the three-pointer, and then his average points per game is also correlated with that. So, like I said earlier, the three-point shot is definitely something that is correlated to other statistical categories when it comes to the NBA. And so for our last visual, I just made another stacked bar chart, not necessarily stacked bar chart, but two bar charts kind of showing points per game and effective field goal percentage. Effective field goal percentage accounts for the fact that the three-point field goal is worth more than the two-point field goal. So here you're kind of seeing how that three-point shot and how effective they are when it comes to shooting that correlates to the points per game. So here you can see kind of who's averaging the most points per game on the top half of this chart, and on the bottom half you can see how effective they are when it comes to shooting the ball and actually acquiring those points. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys for viewing my project. I hope the four visuals were able to accurately depict kind of what I was saying as far as how the three-point shot affects other NBA statistical categories. I really appreciate you guys viewing this project. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening.